Good morning, my loves. Happy Wednesday, another glorious day here at the lake. High today, I think, is 109 or 111. It's hot, no matter how you look at it, it's hot. And today is my 66th birthday. I know, I am officially older than dirt. I am. I tease people, they'll say something about my age. I say, well, I went to high school with God and Jesus rode my school bus. I've been around a while. And it's interesting, people my age, and I'm still in touch with a lot of people I went to school with, and older, of course. If you look back on everything that we have witnessed, how life has changed, it's amazing. You look back from the 1950s till today, holy cats. Back when I was in school, elementary school, little girls could not wear slacks. Yeah, I mean, on snow days, you could wear them under a dress. But yeah, no. I think in 6th grade, they started allowing us to wear pantsuits because I remember having a pantsuit in 6th grade. But until then, it was anklets and knee socks. Yeah, skirts, dresses, out on that cold playground. Oh my word, I will never forget that. In Kansas, the wind blows. It's kind of like Chicago. And you get that wind whipping in there out on the playground, when it's 20 degrees or 30 degrees and you're in a dress, that'll get your attention. And how school has changed. We had the fundamentals, reading and writing and science and history, and now it's so much, it's expanded just off the chart. It's amazing what I learned when I was in 5th grade, and kids in 5th grade now. It's just, wow, it's so different. It's wonderful. It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think some of it is a little much. I think people need to let kids be kids. I mean, academia is so important, but so is being a kid. Let kids be kids. Let them play soccer and t-ball and go to dance class or whatever. Let them be kids. Let them have fun. There's more to life than education. And I know a lot of families disagree with that. They push education, and that's fine. But make time for family time. Growing up, my brother played baseball always. I think he started playing when he was 5 or 6, and he played, I don't know, until he signed. He had the opportunity to sign with the major leagues, and then he was injured. But, our family time was on the ball field, and that was okay because that was our life. But it was family time, and that was always important. That was big. I wish more families would celebrate family. Our vacations, we would go visit family. We didn't go to Disneyland or Disney World or, whatever. We went to visit family. That's what you did. My dad's family was so incredibly close, and it was wonderful. You don't see that now. I mean, you do in some families because my dad's family, my cousins and stuffers, they have close families. But on the norm, yeah, you don't see that. People just live their own lives, and that's it. You have your life with your kids, and your brothers or sisters and cousins have their life with their kids, and you may exchange Christmas cards or wave at each other once, if you see each other, and that's about it. And you're losing a lot there. The things I have seen socially, wow. Growing up, civil rights was huge. I remember busing. When I was in elementary school, and I've done a couple of videos on this, the day, and this is back in Wichita, back in the 60s, and they decided to start busing, the whole segregation issue. And they took children from impoverished areas to the more affluent areas, and vice versa. Instead of just letting kids go to school in their neighborhood school, I understand what they wanted to accomplish, the diversity. I understand that, but I think it did more harm than good by disrupting families. It disrupted a lot of kids' lives. Where a kid would get up, get ready, go to school, walk to school. Well, now they had to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning to catch a bus, at 5 or 6 in order to be at school at 8. And it was very disruptive and it was very scary. I remember those first days, everybody, and I do mean everybody, the kids getting off the buses and us, we were all scared. We didn't know because people had filled our heads full of crap. They did. Instead of just saying, okay, you guys are just kids, just be kids. It's okay. You're just going to be in a classroom and you're going to learn together and it's fine. People, adults, stirred the pot. They told the African American kids horrible things about white people and how mean and evil white people could be. And they told us how mean and evil African American people could be. And that was wrong. That was just plain damn wrong. Today, some of my dearest friends, I mean, I have a friend she's in England, but Natalia's like my sister, and she's Black, and she's wonderful. And it's just who she is. I don't think about, oh, she's a Black woman. No, she's Natalia. She's my sister. I'm sorry. She's here. We've been through a lot together. And that's just me. I know a lot of people aren't like that to this day. And she was raised in South Africa, so she has seen it as well. So it's very interesting. But busing and the civil rights was just the rioting. Oh my God, the rioting was horrible. All because of color. The color of someone's skin that you have no control over. None. You have no control over the color of your hair when you're born, the color of your eyes, the color of your skin, and yet people hate you for it. They will kill you because of it. That's stupid. That is just plain damn stupid. Same with religion. You know, in my school, growing up in elementary school, I'm trying to think, you were either Protestant, Christian, or Catholic. That was pretty much it. We had a couple of Jewish families, but you didn't talk about it. They celebrated Christmas just like everybody else because you didn't have a choice. Everybody said the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody was in the Christmas programs. You could not opt out. Everybody had the vaccines before school every year. You could not opt out. It's just how it was. And of course, I lived through the Vietnam War, the Vietnam conflict. My brother was there. Wow. I get emotional on that one for a lot of reasons. I have lost a lot of friends through the years that were in Vietnam. And I lost them just recently. A couple of years ago, I lost Mike. And Michael developed lymphoma due to Agent Orange that was used in Vietnam. And yeah, I know a lot of folks that went down that path. A lot of PTSD. In my trauma therapy practice, I have a lot of veterans, and some are, served in the Vietnam conflict. Others is Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran. And it just breaks my heart that that's their job. They chose that career just like I chose a career in nursing. They chose a career in the military. God bless them for that. Thank you for serving our country and protecting us and our freedoms. But wow, to be treated the way that y'all have been treated is just despicable, in my opinion. So I've seen a lot of stuff. The science that I've seen, I remember my dad was in research and development at Boeing, and I remember he came home one time and he was telling us about microwaves. And we were at the dinner table, and my mom was just, oh, please, Joe, please. And now microwave ovens are just normal. I remember when we got my mom her first microwave, she wouldn't use it. It sat in the kitchen, and no, she had no use for it. She eventually liked it. But science, medicine, oh my gosh. I graduated nursing school in 1979. I've been a nurse 46 years. And gosh, back in the day, somebody would show up in the ER and you didn't put gloves on. The only time you wore gloves is if you were going into the, assisting in a procedure or surgery. Other than that, you really didn't glove up. And yeah, my hands have been in some scary places, trust me. just the changes in the field of medicine, bypass surgery. I mean, you used to be in the hospital for a good 2 or 3 weeks after bypass surgery, after open heart, and now you're going to go home within 72 hours. You're going home. It's just amazing. When I had my double mastectomy, 11 years ago, same day surgery. Oh my gosh, back in the day, you were in for a good week because they were concerned about lymphedema and, all kinds of stuff, infections. And now I joked at the time and said it's like drive-through surgery because, I had a massive, major surgery and they sent me home same day. Whoa. Times have changed. Politics have changed. Back in the day, you would, and this does not apply to today, I'm just making a statement. Back in the 50s and 60s, you may not like the president, but you would always support the president. You may not like your congressman, but they were your congressman. You may not like your teacher, but you would, they were the adult. You respect the teacher, you respect people in authority. We don't have that today. And that's because some of the people in those positions are not worthy of our respect. We don't view respect like we used to. I don't think. Growing up, it's just you would respect all firefighters, police officers, doctors, nurses, teachers, clergy. It's just you would respect adults. They're your elders. And today, little kids, kindergarten, first grade, cuss and swear and act up, and they don't understand respect. I don't think people understand the difference, many people, between intimidation and respect, and there's a big difference. People think that you should fear someone to respect them. No. Two different things, apples and oranges. Respect is you hold them in high esteem, maybe for their position, maybe for who they are, maybe for what they stand for. That's respect, not fear and intimidation. So I have seen some stuff in my day, and I know there's a lot more stuff I'm going to see in the next 40 years. I'm planning to live to a very, very old age. I have no doubt. Just to piss a lot of people off, People that just don't like me, oh honey, I'm going to be around forever. Trust me. And hopefully helping a lot of folks. That's my goal. I'm never going to stop doing what I do. That's why God put me here. So I want you, if you would today, take a minute and look at your life. Look at everything that you've witnessed, that you've seen, that you've experienced socially, just TV. Back in the 60s, it was our Mickey Mouse Club and the Mickey Mouse Club you see today are two completely different Mickey Mouse clubs. With Annette and Darlene and Cubby and, that's, the kids today wouldn't know who that was. Howdy Doody, Captain Kangaroo. That was TV back in the day. And now today, kid TV is not the same cartoons, that's for darn sure. Movies, wow. Long way from watching Gidget and Moondoggie to some of the stuff you see on TV at the movies today. A lot of violence that I think is totally unnecessary. A lot of sexual innuendos and sex scenes that are totally unnecessary. But that's just me. I'm not a prude. I just have a very strong view in the morals, the ethics, and values categories. It's just a Brenda thing. So look back at your life and everything that you've witnessed, the good, the bad, the indifferent, things that need to change. So make the change. If you see that things are going the wrong direction, make a change. Because each person can make a difference. You matter, your voice matters, your opinions matter, your vote matters. So just give it some thought. And yes, today, my birthday will be celebrated at the office. I already know what is in store for me, and I will just suck it up. I'm a very private person, and I really don't talk a lot about what I do off work and stuff. And people are really nosy. What are you doing for your birthday? And everybody's getting the same answer. Nothing. just hanging with the cat. Now, whether I am just hanging with the cat or not, you'll never know. But it will be an interesting birthday, that's for sure. And those that haven't made it to 66, honey, you got a lot to look forward to. It's not that bad. My mind is still telling me I'm 40. My body, well, yeah, that's a different story. Have an amazing day and reflect back on your life. What have you learned? What do you still have to learn? What can you help others learn?